So the 2026 FIFA World Cup is this week, and if you don't know, FIFA likes money. So they somehow put 48 teams in a single World Cup, with 47 nations are somehow convinced they're going to win it, other than one, that being Scotland. So like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and Mazar Designs, link down below, buy my prints. Thank you. Let's go. Brazil, the most successful international team in history, but yet somehow still acting like every tournament is a redemption arc. And the biggest enemy for Brazil is indeed Brazil. Every winger they call up has 5-star skills and has zero defensive awareness or even pressing ability. And dragging in a 34-year-old Neymar that basically moves like a 55-year-old at this point is only going to end in one way: a complete and emotional breakdown. Belgium, the last remains of a golden generation era, still hanging on like it refuses to die. And every tournament since 2018 has basically been, this is their last chance. Again. But now with the likes of Dorku in the squad, maybe now with no real expectation, maybe they'll go and do something. Maybe. Colombia, the ultimate World Cup dark horse. A great kit, great vibes, fast attacking players, and a defense that looks like they want to kill you. Colombia is the best example of job A, win ball, stop, goal, go. The ball magically moves to the other side of the pitch, don't worry. Job B, score goals, get assists, woohoo. Coming home, it's coming, football's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming for Ghana, on paper, is a pretty good team. Kudus, Semenyo, Inaki Williams, don't talk about number 5 in midfield. They are capable of shocking a big nation, however, just never really does it. But hey, I'm looking forward to the 0-0 draw in group stage to England. Norway's tactic is simple: give it to Haaland and get the hell out the way. And with actual creative players like Oscar Barber and Odegaard, maybe they can actually do something. Just hope and pray that they don't actually need to defend. Because, but massive dark horses, and hey, who doesn't like a Viking? Mexico, in a country where you don't talk about the 5th place game, because it never happens. Somehow, Mexico has hosted more World Cups than most countries have even reached them. And let's be honest, most people don't really know much about their team, other than the fact that Ochoa is still in goal. Goalkeeper that you literally don't even know exists for about 4 years, until every summer, or technically winter, he shows up again. The tactic for Mexico is potentially kill them. And if they somehow do make it to that 5th game, then expect a national holiday. Croatia, the ultimate we refuse to die national team. Relatively small country, massive tournament mentality, and endless midfield talent. Modric, Kovacic, Perisic, I've got an itch. That feels good. Croatia at World Cup, so basically we should be tied by now, but somehow we're in another semi-final. So expect them to go far yet again. Portugal, finally in their post-Ronaldo era. Except Ronaldo is there anyway because he simply refuses to leave. Loaded squad, big expectations, and constant pressure to finally turn talent into a World Cup win. On paper has the best midfield in the entire tournament: João Neves, Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, and with the ego of a 41-year-old taking over the entire team still like it's a goddamn dictatorship, then only time can tell if he'll drag the national team down with him. Now Bosnia's playing the factor of that Balkan country which you hate to play against, as most of their players look like a UFC fighter. Their team at this point is basically veterans plus vibes plus suffering. And if they somehow give the ball to Edin Dzeko, maybe they can win a game, which makes them the absolute perfect team to cause an upset. Morocco tried to bring extra towels. They actually are a good football team, as the last World Cup proved it, but for some reason just don't let the ball boys near your goalkeeper's net, as we saw in the AFCON, they'll steal your towels and drag you to the ground. And also please do not beat them, that's not allowed, because if you do beat them, then they'll just take you to the courtroom. I love politics. Jordan, let's just hope for the best, lads. The reality is, for most people in America, and probably even Europe, they probably wouldn't even know Jordan were even a country in the world, and definitely cannot point them out on a map. But the reality is, they've already won the World Cup just by being here in the first place, so go Jordan. DR Congo, good flag, great vibes, and they got that random guy that does the salute every single time there's a game. And on paper, they've got some good players. Bakambu, Visa, Masaraku, with Transebi and Wan-Bissaka as well. They definitely will not control the game, but hey, expect goals. Spain, we expect 2 things. They will either pass you to death and win comfortably, or pass you to death and lose on penalties. With one of the best talents in the world in Lamine Yamal, he's basically the epitome of give me the ball, and suddenly going from underdogs to the main favourites. Main issue is they don't really have a main goal scorer, so expect that to be the main talking point. And my god, do I love paella. New Zealand, otherwise known as Chris Wood. Expect most games in New Zealand to be Chris Wood up top by himself, hoping and begging that someone can please follow him up there. With the most famous player in the world right now, for some reason, I don't really know why, but he is in Tim Payne. Again, I feel like I'm way too old for the internet sometimes, because I just don't get it either, really. And realistically, they should be bottom of group, but somehow, some way, you just know that they won't. Paraguay's football philosophy is simple. If you enjoy playing football, then you will not like playing us. Historically built on great organisation and making it as absolutely uncomfortable as possible. They have got some attacking talent in Almiron and Julio and Zisso. God, oh dear God. Haiti, similar to Jordan, if I said point them out on a map, you wouldn't really know. Somewhere, kind of, here. A nation with massive passion, but let's be honest, them being here is a complete fairy tale. And every goal they score would feel like a Netflix documentary. If they somehow get a point, you just know it will be to Scotland. Saudi Arabia, otherwise known as money. They're already famous in beating Argentina in 2022, and with massive investment into their football, they could maybe cause a surprise. Salem Adosari being the main man for the entire nation, and at this point I would not be surprised if for the next World Cup Cristiano Ronaldo does not end up playing for Saudi Arabia. Sweden can be best described as they always feel like they should be better than what they actually are. On paper, they have some great players. Isaac and Gyökeres being the front two sounds like every nation's dream. However, for some reason, they occasionally forget to score, being the ultimate underdogs that never really do anything. France, the closest thing international football has ever come to playing career mode. An absurd level of depth in all areas and also world-class talent. The France B team can probably still win the World Cup. They quite literally have the Ballon d'Or winner, probably not even in the top 3 or 4 best players in the entire squad. But the main issue is one thing. They have a dictator in their squad. Do not look at Mbappe the wrong way. He knows where you live. Switzerland, who their main storylines and tournaments goes along the same path. Group stage, they're quiet and you barely even notice that they even exist. They're never amazing, never terrible, just always there, ruining someone's tournament. And then loses 1-0 and everyone forgets they existed again. They're basically the final boss of being awkward to beat. It's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home. I love capitalism. USA, USA, USA. Every World Cup over the 2018. Sorry about Trinidad. If you think the delusion of English fans is great, then my god, Christian Pulisic, the LeBron James of soccer, while the national team feels more like a marketing campaign, and the home fans will be 90% confidence and 10% confusion about the offside rule. And if they do go on a run in this tournament, then expect soccer memes for 6 months straight. Iraq, lads, just by looking at your group, just enjoy the holiday away, boys. Algeria, the most talented but inconsistent sides. When they're good, they're not good. And when they're not good, they're good. Fighting for second place in the group like their life depends on it. And now that third place can get you through, expect them to still mess it up. But with the power of the disgrace of Gijón in this group, then expect violence. Speaking of the disgrace of Gijón, let's talk about Austria. Organised, disciplined, and still very quiet. Austria basically shows up in every tournament like they're an 8th place Bundesliga side just showing up randomly. It's like for some reason FC Freiburg just randomly showed up in the tournament. This is Austria. Now, Ecuador on paper is the kind of team to definitely ruin someone's campaign. Moises Caicedo, Hincapié, Perez, and due to the high attitude of the nation, Ecuador play like they've been given 99 stamina on FIFA, and absolutely have a very real chance of the knockouts. I back them as my dark horse. Welcome to Czechia. Here's their game plan. Number 1, be organised. Number 2, win headers. Number 3, make everyone miserable. If they win, it'll be by 1 goal, and if they lose, it will also be by 1 goal. And God bless Thomas Suchek's potato salad. Qatar, still trying to convince football that they belong here. Qatar football is like a long-term project in Football Manager where you just sim games and hoping for development of your players to finally show up. Their entire squad is based off their domestic league, so the chemistry is high, but if they somehow win a game, it would be a miracle. Scotland, the most emotionally dangerous team in international football. When in every tournament, their fans take over, arriving with not much hope, but hey, at least it's a good excuse to get drunk, and they leave with character development. The nation itself does have some hope. You never know, but you kind of do. But my word, if they reach the knockouts, then the nation will explode. And when they do get knocked out, expect flags of whoever England plays against to be outside your neighbour's garden. Argentina, defending world champions and still riding the Messi era like it's a never-ending victory parade, where every tournament feels like it's one last dance, even when it probably isn't. Where football is literally a religion there, as every match is an emotional nightmare, even against random group stage opponents. Like Messi runs around like a video game character, he's got plot armor, where nothing bad can happen to him. So semi-finals is the minimum expectation, and if not, generational trauma. As this should surely be the last World Cup for Messi. Uzbekistan, one of Asia's most improved and underrated footballing nations, and a commentator's worst nightmare, whereby looking at most of the names on the team sheet, good luck pronouncing most of them. Uzbekistan feels like a team that has some kind of Netflix documentary behind them. I don't know why, but they have this weird dark horse positive energy, and the type of team that you don't notice or know anyone from their team until they've taken the point off you somehow. Other than Kuzanov, of course, who in Uzbekistan is known as God. Canada, the other co-host, which their vibes is basically don't embarrass ourselves in front of our own people. This is their first golden generation since ever. Where the tactical plan is give it to Alphonso Davies and pray something happens. On paper, they have some players you may know, like Jonathan David and Buchanan and Liam Miller. However, the other half of the squad looks like they've been downloaded from a FIFA career mode regen list. So if they make it out of the groups, then expect a party. Netherlands, football's eternal nearly team. Always stacked with some talent, but never really in the main conversation. And for some reason, Denzel Dumfries, who's a right back by the way, just turns into the best attacking player. They got amazing colours, the fans are amazing, and Wout Weghorst may do something maybe, until somehow they lose one game in a way that nobody can really explain. Japan is everyone's dark horse. Everyone thinks they'll do well, and because everyone thinks they'll do well, they won't do well. Their fans are respectful, and hey look, they even clean and look after themselves after the game. Aren't they so nice? Here's a picture of a tree, and here's a picture of a tree in Japan. Wow! But seriously, Japan is one of the most well-drilled, organised, underrated teams in world football. And if you face them in the knockout rounds, good luck. Now sadly, for Iran, due to all the politics, most people forget this is actually a decent footballing team. Iran's footballing identity is, you will not enjoy this game. The kind of team to ruin everyone's accurate on Bet365 and doesn't apologise. And due to the fact that still many of their coaching staff ain't even being allowed in the country, expect the story of Iran's tournament to not really be about what's happening on the pitch, unfortunately. South Africa, Bafana Bafana, and my favourite sound in the entire world. I don't think they'll bring the Vuvuzela with them, and if they do, then I hope they get banned. Every neutral secretly wants South Africa to do well because they gave us the loudest tournament in football history. And it's been so long since they've even been in the World Cup that I'm still expecting Tushalabalabalaba to still somehow be in the squad. Australia are weird. The team that refuses to ever just be happy to be there. On paper, let's be honest, they've not really got a great team, as they've mastered the art of we shouldn't be in this game, but somehow we are, as they're always pretty annoying to play against. A group stage exit is most likely, but they will always have that one, how did they do that result? So if they do qualify, expect scenes. For Tunisia, I don't really know. They're gonna run a lot. That's probably it. Unlike the other dark horse nations that has that kind of newness to them, so it's kind of exciting, Tunisia just kind of are always here and kind of just always here. South Korea, a team that everyone likes unless if you're Italian or Spanish. A team that every big nation underestimates exactly once until they find out that they actually are pretty good. With Heung-min Son still there as a national treasure, expect random K-pop references every 5 minutes. What even is K-pop? I don't even know. Okay, so let's do England properly. Always hyped, always coming home, and everyone laughs at us. England tournaments are basically this. Have an uncomfortable first game, have a boring 0-0 draw, make it into the knockouts unconvincingly, win a game convincingly, and then maybe it's coming home. Delusion hits yet again, and then national trauma. The defense is kind of weak, and reality is the entire nation is on the back of Harry Kane. Because without Harry Kane, everything falls apart. So, yeah. It's coming home. Turkey is my dark horse. Oh no, I'm not doing this again, am I? Turkey can beat anyone and can lose to anyone, sometimes in the same week. Where if you try to predict what they're going to do, then you're going to predict wrong because they'll predict what you're thinking they're not going to do because they'll do it. Their fans will turn any stadium into Istanbul in 10 minutes, so they've got the emotions to lift them up maybe, but typically that is what brings them down. So if they click, serious dark horse energy of Yilmaz and Arda Güler, but if they don't, expect a full emotional collapse. Loudly. Speaking of loudly, we've got Uruguay. Uruguay is a perfect combination of South American street fight football combined with actual good talent. They're always aggressive, always competitive, and emotionally intense. With Valverde, Darwin Núñez, Araujo at the back, they've got some serious players, and Bielsa also as the manager. They will run at you until you feel uncomfortable existing. And they will play every match like it's a derby that matters personally. And they will try and kill you. As the reality is, this feels like a make or break for Uruguay. If they don't do it now, then they may not ever do it. Cape Verde, yet again, similar to Jordan. Try and point them out on the map for me. Just try and guess. Where do you think they are? They're here. Cape Verde, like Haiti, just by the fact they even are here, they've already won the World Cup. They're going to bring the vibes, and the fact they're in a group of Spain and Uruguay, Cape Verde v Saudi Arabia will be their World Cup final. Panama, CONCACAF's hard-working underdog. And from what we found in Copa America, they do have this we're not here to make the numbers up mentality. Defend everything, counter occasionally, and hope something happens. And most people know about them because of what happened with Thierry Henry when he beat USA in final minute and thought, hey, it's Thierry Henry, and celebrated a winning goal with him. Honestly, it's incredible. So yeah, Panama, Good vibes. Nearing the end, and we are going to Germany. Sorry for waiting all this time. These days, people don't really know what to expect from Germany. Like, they're good, but how good? As in recent years, they've dropped down below to as low as 16th in the FIFA rankings. And when they've been knocked out in the group stages in the last not just one, but 2 World Cups, how can you blame them? So after recent failures, they're arriving and looking for some kind of identity again, as their biggest opponent will be the German media. Egypt, otherwise known as Mohamed Salah FC, which I think is kinda harsh, as they do have other players. Marmoush is there, who's not a bad player. But let's be honest, everything revolves around Mohamed Salah, always has and always will. So give it to Mo Salah and just pray. This feels like the new era of Ivory Coast, as back in 2018, they went as low as 71st in the FIFA World Rankings. And wait, what? They just beat France? On paper, possibly Africa's best squad. Always full of individual quality, but consistency is the question. They have the talent to win the group, but also at the same time have the ability to destroy themselves. I would keep an eye on them. Curacao, they're just happy to be here, lads. Have a good holiday, have a little sing-song of a dance if you get a point. National baby boom for the entire country. Let's go. And I think Senegal's the last one. Honestly, there's so many teams in this World Cup, I get confused. Senegal and Ivory Coast for me is the 2 best African nations. After they won AFCON, but not won AFCON, but let's be honest, they won AFCON. Everyone seems to like Senegal. Dangerous, organised, physical side, with a very talented squad with Iliman Ndiaye and Sadio Mane there as his last dance. They come to this World Cup with a point to prove. And if they somehow do win the World Cup, then expect Morocco to send them to court. So yeah, that's every team for the 2026 FIFA World Cup explained. And France are probably winning it again. Enjoy!